Welcome back to the Kush Kingdom. Kush King 17 here. Today we're going to be talking about is Za addictive? Before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos. So let's get straight into it. Is Za really addictive? Now, I don't think it's a yes or no answer. I don't think it's black and white. I think it varies from person to person. I think it can be addictive, depending on your type of personality. It's really just a lot of variables that a lot of people don't really talk about, which make it seem addictive to them. You see every week somebody's doing a video of how they were addicted to weed, or weed ruined their life, or this and that about it. And I think it's just not necessarily that black and white, that all of a sudden they just start smoking, and then it's just more to it, is what I'm saying. And it's more to every different person. It's a different relationship for everybody on if it's addictive or not. Now, let's get one thing straight. There's a difference between addiction and a dependency, and weed definitely is, for sure. You can guarantee that dependency is something that can happen. And if you smoke a lot of weed, most likely you're dependent. Your body is physically dependent. Now, mentally, I feel like you can get mentally addicted to anything, whether that be sweet, sugar, relationships, video games, anything. You can get mentally addicted to everything. Let's get that straight. But on the physical side, your body will not shut down once you stop consuming cannabis. It may look as if it's shutting down, which is only withdrawals, lack of appetite, insomnia, irritability. Those are common things that happen when you consume cannabis long term, and then you just all of a sudden just quit cold turkey or go without. You're gonna get withdrawals, just like with anything. If I'm in a really good relationship every day with this person for years and years, I'm with this person every day, I talk to them every single day, and then one day I just stop, or a couple days I just stop doing it altogether, I'm gonna go through withdrawals. I'm gonna feel emotionally something's gonna happen. You're just not gonna feel nothing, like, you know what I mean? So that just really depends on your relationship. Now, people confuse their relationship with a substance as addiction because they go through withdrawals, or they and it's really just your relationship with anything is gonna be, you're gonna have some type of withdrawal with it if you're using it long term. Now, I'm not saying this to discredit anybody's experience or anybody's addiction to cannabis. All I'm saying is that everybody has a different relationship with the plant, and to some people, if somebody's smoking 3 joints a day, from the outside looking in, that could be seen as they're addicted. To somebody else's point of view, it's like they're smoking 3 joints a day, but it's not necessarily addiction. It's just they have a really high tolerance. I don't think it's ever just a black and white, like, oh my God, everybody who smokes a lot of weed long term is just feel like they need it. Like, some people just like getting high, and some people just like smoking, and that should be cool, but you shouldn't be projecting saying that somebody's addicted to something when that's just clearly not the case. Now, once again, it's still back on the focus of the relationship. Somebody's relationship with cannabis can be an everyday thing. And it's always weird with an addiction, the underlying factor, a lot of the times it's usually never the substance that's truly the problem. It's usually, the coping mechanism. The substance is never truly the issue when somebody's addicted to something. That's 9 times out of 10, that's usually the problem. With cannabis, and not only with cannabis, with relationships with people, with your relationship with whatever that thing may be, you can be using that as an escape. A lot of people use the gym as an escape their feelings. Whether these are positive or negative coping mechanisms, that's subjective. To some people, smoking a joint a day, it'll keep them from doing one of the worst things imaginable. There's a lot of bad vices, and I honestly feel like weed is one of the least problematic vices, honestly. Compared to a lot of other substances out here and things that people do and use, cannabis is some of the most least harmful, vices that people like to use. Now, I'm not saying this to advocate smoke weed or to stop smoke weed. I'm not advocating for none of that. I just want to get you to see both sides of the story. It's really just not that black and white to see somebody smoking a heavy amounts of weed and just automatically assume they're addicted and they're stupid, they're lazy, they don't have their stuff together. Because a lot of people, you can smoke weed and still be a great person. Like, you can do a lot of things and still be great people. It's not necessarily the product that's holding them back or the substance, because a lot of people just give this plant a lot of power, and it's a powerful plant, but you can't put it over a human mind or anything like that. At the same time, we're still in the driver's seat. This isn't this isn't God or anything. This isn't nothing like that. If anything, it's a tool for some people, and for everybody it's not a tool. So And it's good to really just understand your relationship with this product, because it can be a bad one, it can be a negative one. You won't really know, because everybody is different. Everybody has a different chemical makeup. Everybody is reacting to the plant differently. Like, you won't really know. You have to really find out for yourself. And to you, it may be addictive, and to the next person, it may just be, you know, exactly what they needed. So when you can determine that, you know, I think when people have a much more open mind about it, the whole I'm addicted to weed and, you know, weed is dangerous, weed is bad, like, I think that type of talk would start, you know, dying down over time once people start realizing that. So yeah, you gotta really just determine your relationship with this product, man, this plant. At the end of the day, I don't really like how people judge, like a lot of people, like, for, you know, their use of substances or not, because at the end of the day, drugs aren't inherently bad. It's just people's relationships with it can be bad or good. And people like to judge and think that this is the right way or this is the wrong way. And you just, like, I really just want everybody to have an open mind about it. Have an open mind about weed addiction. And I'm not, you may be addicted to weed listening to this. And if you are, you shouldn't get offended, because you doing something right. At least if you understand that you're addicted and you know, like, you're doing the right thing. Like, you know what I mean? Now, if you get offended by this, then clearly there's a problem that I think you got to deal with. And another thing I want to bring up is, like, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if marijuana was federally legal and you didn't really have to stress about the law, like the law and everything with it, a lot of people's weed addiction they wouldn't even consider it an addiction. Because when you really break it down to, like, once the legalization happens and whatever, the prices will drop, you'll realize how minuscule some of y'all's use is. Smoking a joint a day, there's nothing wrong. There's people who smoke less than a gram a day and think that they're addicted. And I'm not saying they're not, they might be, but when you're talking about smoking that small amount every day and saying somebody's addicted to something, it's like, I don't know, objectively, it just seems kind of crazy to me. The only reason why I'm just having this discussion is because, like, I constantly see people just go viral off of saying that how weed ruined their life and I stopped smoking weed. And I'm not saying that they're not being honest or genuine with them. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But I'm just saying, like, really just look at it from a very open mind, because it just seems crazy how people like to demonize. Still, people are demonizing cannabis. Like, we're still in over 100+ years and it's still being demonized all across the world. I'm just trying to beat these stigmas. But yeah, I mean, people are going to prison for just having grams of marijuana with no intent to distribute. And, you know, it's just really crazy. Like I said, if legalization and everything was here, a lot of people wouldn't even be batting an eye on if weed ruined their lives. Still, in a lot of these people's cases, it's not necessarily socially accepted. You know, a lot of times your family don't accept it. So think about that too. The societal view, the federal legalizations, that all plays in a role into why people think weed ruined their life. So yeah, if you really think you addicted to weed, man, there's plenty of channels pretty sure that'll help you. I just don't discriminate. If my homie said he's done smoking weed, we could still be cool. Like, I'm not gonna stop smoking weed because he stopped, and vice versa. I can be with people who smoke weed, and I can be with people who don't smoke weed. When I go around times where I'm not smoking, I can still hang with people who smoke weed. So yeah, man, just really change your way how you look about cannabis, man. Is weed addictive? It can be. Yes and no. Do your research for sure, and, you know, explore your relationship with the plant, because that's gonna really determine if it's addictive for you. If it's not, you know, just have an open mind about it. But one thing for sure, just don't judge anybody, you know, quitting or even starting, like quitting weed or smoking heavy, long-term users. We're not here to judge any type of cannabis consumer in the Kush Kingdom. So I have no problem with people who think they're addicted, and I don't have problem with people who just regularly consume. If you don't smoke, if you do smoke, welcome to the channel. I invite everybody. We productive on this side. If you don't smoke, you can enjoy the channel too, man. Like, I don't discriminate at all. I don't demonize people who don't smoke and people who do smoke. Like, everybody's welcome. I hope y'all having a great day. I'll catch y'all in the next video.